Hey, what's going on, guys? Jax here, and I'm in a very echoey parking deck doing a little photo mission with the Honda CR-V Touring that I have right here in a, not social distancing kind of world. I'm in Lawrenceville right now, which is sort of a suburb outside of Atlanta, and it is awfully busy today, which is a bit unfortunate because today, as of filming this right now, is the Saturday after Georgia was supposed to reopen, which, if you've been watching the news, was pretty much ill-advised by generally everyone ever. But I kind of took this opportunity to get out of the house and try to find an out-of-the-way place where I could take some photos. I've been sort of complaining to myself, really, because no one else is around to complain to, that some of my car photos on the Instagram and stuff like that, if you don't follow me on Instagram, do so, please. Like here or here or here, I don't know, wherever I put the little graphic. Some of the car photos had become a little stale, like not stale, but like repetitive, a lot of pretty sunsets and cars. I've got kind of a go-to place that I usually use, a park out near where I live. I felt like they were kind of getting kind of same old. Like I had all these different cars and I wasn't really exploring or challenging myself in any way. And I thought, well, what is this sort of quarantine time for? It's for experimentation, it's for challenging ourselves, it's for trying new things. So I thought I would sort of scout out a new location. Now, I was hoping that things would be a little less crowded. I know that we reopened, but I was hoping that people wouldn't just be going buck wild, and so they are. One of the other challenges I've given myself is that I have the Honda CR-V Touring here, and I sort of said, okay, I have a lot of normal mainstream cars, and if I want to challenge my photo skills, they're not just in the edit and sort of like the way the photo looks, but can you take a car as ubiquitous and mainstream as the Honda CR-V and sort of make it look stylish, make it look cool? Not that it's going to be like a Lamborghini or something, but sort of give it like a little bit of, character, like make it kind of almost like it's a character within the photograph, like you're elevating its style or status somehow. And so that's kind of one of the reasons that I came to this like parking deck, is I wanted to change the background to sort of challenge myself to look at a car as mainstream as the CR-V in kind of a new way, and like a different way, and hopefully, like ideally, pass that on to you guys so that you could see it and let me know if you think it was successful or not. Obviously, we're all kind of sick of being inside. I'm sick of sitting around doing, nothing kind of work related other than this. Obviously, Mrs. Jackson and I are both teachers, so we've been incredibly busy with that, having to sort of adapt everything to that online world. But generally, forcing the girls to stay in the house and stuff like that's not very much fun. And so I've been thinking about like, how can we responsibly... So getting out of the house is important, and if it's not important now, it's going to become more important because we're all getting a little stir crazy, and I understand that, it makes sense, but we have to do it responsibly. So I was thinking, well, hey, maybe if I come to this parking deck, even though it's in an unfortunately too busy area, maybe it will be empty because the businesses around that it's attached to are not open. And looks like I was right. So that's the good news. The good news is that, my sort of photo mission has succeeded in this location. But the bad news is it's really crowded out here, and that's disappointing. See, the thing is, a lot of people's jobs hang in the balance, and not everybody is in the fortunate position that I am in, where my job sort of necessitates that I do it online, and my hobby job of reviewing cars on YouTube is sort of uninterrupted to a certain extent. It's definitely become a little weird just driving around in sort of circles around my neighborhood on sort of the testing roads that I use, and not really using the cars to drive the family around, or if I do, they're just sort of sitting in the car and we're not really like actually going anywhere. So that's a little awkward, and the girls haven't exactly wanted to do that, so that's frustrating, but not their fault, obviously. But there's a lot of people that are not in that position. There's a lot of people whose jobs depend on us being smart. And I'm just looking out the top of this parking deck, and there's people walking around without masks on and no sort of personal protective gear in what I assume are like family or friend units, clearly not 6 feet apart. And they're just acting like everything's back to normal. And if you do that, everything most assuredly will not go back to normal. So I guess let's at least try, for the time being, to think of others other than ourselves, because that's honestly the only way we're going to get through this. If we think of the people around us, and how can we get those people back to work, not just ourselves? How do we get those people back to work? And for those of us in a position of privilege where we can still work, we definitely should be thinking about what can we do to get those people back to work as quickly as possible. Because you know what? Life might not ever go back to normal, at least not the old normal. There might always be some type of consideration and restrictions in place that we have to think about. And when I say as quickly as possible, I mean as quickly as possible in the way that is safest for all of us. All right, so take care of yourself, stay safe. I hope you enjoyed this little check-in video. Hopefully the B-roll maybe gave you some kind of indication of behind the scenes of like what I'm doing. I don't have anyone else here to film me taking pictures or video, but I'm just shooting a little B-roll around here, sort of from up high, sort of staying safe, to give you an idea of what things are like right now. I hope that they're getting better where you are. Comment down below, kind of what have you been up to? What have you been doing? Is it safe where you are? Are people being smart? Are people being stupid? You know, if you live in Georgia, a lot of people are being stupid, unfortunately. But if you live somewhere where people are smarter, let me know. Comment down below, because I might move there. Cue all the, if you don't like it, you can leave people. Anyway, guys, I hope things are good where you are. Stay safe, stay sanitized. This is Jax. More reviews coming up shortly. I will catch you in the next video. And you know what? Like I always say, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this together. So take care of yourself. Peace. A lot of loud cars driving around. If you haven't seen the news, there's also been reports of people driving really irresponsibly or riding really irresponsibly. Don't do that. Don't mess it up for the rest of us. There was like a person in a suburb of Atlanta who was like clocked doing like 150 miles an hour or something like that. Speed limits are still a thing, guys. Speed limits are still a thing.